How much money do you need to build in Luxembourg? Real estate in Luxembourg is for sure a controversial topic. Prices soaring for the past 20 years, a bubble that recently popped up, and yet difficult access to property. We are talking about money and specifically, how much do you need to build a house or to renovate an existing project? Get your pen and calculator, let's start. Building a house from scratch can be a daunting experience if you're not well prepared in advance. In Luxembourg, it is also very difficult to have land available and start this kind of project. The majority of people will probably buy an existing asset and renovate it, or acquire new property with one local developer who's going to take care of the construction and deliver their final product. This video will not take into account the acquisition of land into the costs. If you are interested in this topic, you'll find somewhere here around me a video I made on the land we acquired last June. So feel free to watch that video before and then come back for this one. Second disclaimer, every house is of course different in architectures and costs will vary depending on the situation. I will report all the data I collected within this month, in which I asked for many quotations in the market for the construction of our house, which will be a 200 square meter house built in 3 different levels. Third disclaimer, costs of new construction are usually cheaper than those of renovation, so keep that in mind. All these disclaimers just to say to take all this information with a grain of salt. Ask for quotations in the market and act accordingly. Okay, all the costs I will say are without TVA. Now we can seriously start. Okay, we just bought our land, we arrived at the site and we are now looking at this bare deserted land. So where do we start from? Architect. So first thing to do is to appoint an architect that will take care of the building authorization and execution plans. Architects will calculate their fee based on the square meters of the house, on top of which they make a cost estimation. Also, they usually follow the OIE guidelines to make their quotes. For the authorization, you can count between 15,000 and 30,000 euros. After that, you can also decide to appoint the architect also for the execution and the control of the works. However, prepare to spend a bit more than that. Engineer. Structural stability of the house, it's something you will want to take into account. The engineer will make structural plans and ensure the stability of the house. Costs will be around 10,000, 15,000. Energy Performance Certificate. So the Energy Performance Certificate is a statutory obligation. Let's look at the definition. It's a quality label that defines the energy performance of a building and allows one to assess the energy performance and quality without needing any technical knowledge. Costs range around 2,000–3,000 euros. Municipal taxes. Yes, your municipality will want some cash to authorize you to build in the neighborhood. So it did cost us roughly 5,000 euros, but it varies depending on the municipality. Security coordinator. Compulsory in every construction site with multiple subcontractors. So basically compulsory all the time to prevent accidents and monitor health and safety matters on site. Here we are ranging between 2,000 and 3,000 euros. Alright, we are already at bullet point number 5 and we didn't start building yet. So it's how it is. Let's keep going. Utilities. Water, electricity, gas, these are essentials to carry out the work. Electricity, Creos asks around 1,500 euros. Water will depend on the municipality, so we spent around 500 euros. For fiber optic cables, the post will ask for 1,450 euros for the connection. And finally, there is gas. We're not getting gas into the house. Price should be around 1,500–2,000 euros. Okay, now everything is prepared on the land, we can really start building. But before we get into the interesting stuff, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I really want to reach 100 subscribers to open the bottle behind me. Spring has arrived and a nice bubble is always good. Structural works. Finally, things are now getting serious. So structural works is usually about concrete, beams, columns, slabs. One can build in concrete, wood or metal, isolated bricks or other methods. In my case, we will have concrete slabs and insulated bricks for masonry. This is going to be a considerable portion of the total budget. My quotes range at around 1,200 euro per square meter. Roofs. Here again, it will depend on the type of roof that you are installing. Are you doing a flat roof or a traditional one? Which material are you using for the roof covering? In our case, we will have a two-sided roof covered in aluminum. So it's going to be roughly 120 square meters on the roof, and we are at around 65,000 euros. So count an average of 550, 600 euros per square meters. This price is quite similar to the one for zinc covering and a bit more expensive than traditional slate. And this is a sample of the roof that we are making. Quite unusual for the Luxembourgish market. Didn't see many aluminum roofs, and I hope it's gonna be nice and durable. Windows. Here I'm talking about triple glazing windows. So if you are renovating, usually you will install double glazing window, especially if you don't have a ventilation system in the house or apartment. From the cheapest to the most expensive, we will find PVC windows, followed by aluminum ones, and then a mix of wood and aluminum. So for PVC, I received quotes at around 400 euros per square meter. For aluminum, we are sitting around 1,000 euro per square meters, and for wood aluminum, I just asked one quote and we were at around 1,400 euro per square meter. Façade. So for the façade, it's very difficult to give a price range as it's strictly dependent on the thickness of the insulation and the type of the insulation. So in general, a styropor insulation is going to be cheaper than rock wool one. In our case, we will spend around 110 euros per square meter, but we have only insulation in the ground floor, because on the upper level we have insulated masonry. For a fully insulated facade, okay, depending on the thickness, but you are starting at 250 euro per square meter. Ventilation. So for ventilation, we are installing a heat recovery unit for the ventilation of our house. All the pipes are distributed through the slabs. I will put some videos now on screen. And basically, all the pipes go through the slabs and they will reach every room of the house. And the total price around 14,000 euros. Heating. So when we talk about heating, first thing to say, the energy production system. So in our case, we are going for an air-water heat pump, and we will have floor heating in the house. And for the whole installation, we are at around 40,000 euros. But here also, prices vary a lot. If you're doing a geothermal heat pump, it's more expensive. Sanitary installation. So this will depend on the number of bathrooms and toilets that you will have in the house. So in our case, it will be free. This cost is only about the technical installation and pipe distribution into the system. I will not take into account taps, shower trays, toilets. I'm not going into that as it's impossible to give a price range. Installation price, in our case, about 15,000 euros. Electricity. Electricity for a normal installation of a 200 square meter house costs may range at around 20,000 euros. If you want domotics, prepare to spend more. If you live with candles, prepare to spend less. Screeds. In our case, we will have a insulated pre-screed and a liquid screed on top of the heating pipes. Count around 45-50 euros per square meter. Okay. There are cheaper options as traditional screed or also called cement screed. Plaster Works. Plaster Works will range at around 25-30 euro per square meter. Better to spend a bit more here and make sure your walls and ceilings are smoothly done. Floor coverings, tiles, parquet, béton ciré, laminate flooring. Here the possibilities are endless. It's just a nightmare to make a choice. Difficult to give you a price range. In general, laminate flooring will be the cheapest. Installation of parquet and tiles will range at around 40-45 euros per square meters. For tiles, it will also depend on the format. On top of this price, you will have to add the cost of materials. Béton ciré will be at around 150-165 euros. Doors. The world of doors is a very complex one. The cheapest option is to go with classic white plain doors with visible hinges. Here you can have one installed at around 500-550 euros per door. From here you can start climbing the price range considerably, but we will not get into that today. Paint! And finally, paint works mean that we have almost finished the works and we will be soon settling in the house. Walls are usually cheaper to do, ranging at around 25-30 euros per square meters. Ceilings a bit more expensive, we are sitting around at 35-40 euros per square meter. Conclusions. And we can have a quick look at this pie chart I just made, in which we can assess the weight of every work in proportion to the total costs. So as you can see, structural works, windows and roof will count for more than 50% of the total budget. And this is it. You finish the works, you're poorer than ever, but hopefully happy to settle in your new place. Exhausted, broke, but happy. We reach the end of the video. Hopefully this video was interesting. We just scratched the surface of costs of work. There is a lot to say for each one of these categories. Feel free to drop your thoughts and questions in the comment section. We might do some deep dives on specific topics in the near future. My name is Angelo. This is Two Hats. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.